Hi, hello, it's me, Jenna. I have just moved to Japan from the UK. It's been really exciting and really scary, but I am so glad I did it. I'm currently in a share house in Yokohama. I'm training for my job as an English teacher. After training, I am going to be moving to Fukuoka. Training is going well, but it is very intense. That's what I'll say about that. So, I wanted to dedicate a video to explaining how I got here. Just in terms of visas and, you know, all of that stuff is a bit overwhelming if you've never done it before. I found these types of informational videos really helpful when it came to booking appointments and needing to know what to do next. I found these videos really helpful, so I thought I'd make my own. So I am really sorry if this video is a little bit boring. I am making some more exciting videos than this about what I'm getting up to in Tokyo and exploring and things like that. So if you're interested to see what I get up to, then subscribe. I'm having the best time so far and I'm loving filming it. But yeah, so I'm sorry that this video might be boring, but hopefully it will be helpful and informative. I'll mention as much as I can about the information that I struggled to find out myself, just in case you have the same questions yourself. So I had a lot of help from my company along the way. They guided me at every step. So if you're coming to Japan on a work visa, hopefully your company will do the same thing and guide you with what you need to do. Even though I had help from them, there were those small details that I wish I'd known about, or, you know, just knowing the whole process I think would have been helpful to have it laid out. You know, this video might only be helpful if you're coming to Japan from the UK. I imagine that the visa processes are the same for elsewhere in the world, but I'm not sure. There might be differences. So yeah, this is my experience from the UK to Japan. It's also worth noting I was coming to Japan specifically on a work visa. There are a few other visa types that you can get, but I came on the work visa. Specifically, I came on the Specialist in Humanities visa. So yeah, I came from the UK and I came on the work visa, which was the Specialist in Humanities visa. It's also worth noting that my experience is linked closely with my boyfriend Will's, who also came to Japan on a JET program placement. So my experience with finding a specific location I think is a bit out of the ordinary. I think most people come to Japan and they accept a job without knowing where they're going to be placed. But for me, this was an important factor. I have prepared notes so that I don't forget anything. So to set the scene, in May of 2022, Will, my boyfriend, has been offered a job on the JET program, and at this stage he doesn't know where he's being placed. He just knows that he's got the placement. So this is where my journey starts. Without knowing where he was going to be placed, it was quite difficult for me to start looking for jobs. We knew I wanted to be quite close by, so to use this time wisely, what I did was get some teaching qualifications. So alongside working full-time in the UK, I was doing a TEFL certification, and this is something I really recommend. Even if you find a job that doesn't require it, it gives you a bit of extra knowledge about teaching techniques. Even if you are a native English speaker, it teaches you about English, if that makes sense. In order to teach English, you need to be able to know English. Actually know it. So I ended up doing 2 TEFL qualifications, and TEFL is really good because you can complete it online in your own time, and you get your own tutor who emails you with feedback on your assessments. So I found this really helpful. And then in June of 2022, we find out where Will was being placed, in a small town in Kyushu, in the middle of Kyushu as well, the countryside. At this point, I thought it might be tricky to find a job near him, but I didn't think it would be impossible. There's some foreshadowing right there. Straight away, I start applying to jobs. I start sending my CV out to schools, just hoping for anything back, you know. I applied for around 40 different schools, and the ones I ended up getting back were the big companies. Out of these 40 applications came 4 solid job opportunities, and throughout August of 2022 I had many interviews with these 4 different companies, and ultimately I got offered a job by all of them, which was not what I was expecting, but it was definitely a confidence booster. And I ended up at the start of September picking my favourite company. I ended up picking this company because they aligned most with my own ethos, and also they were able to offer me a specific placement, whereas the other companies weren't able to offer me set location. So yeah, I was able to accept the job and I started getting really excited about it. At this point, the tentative start date was December. So I had from September to December to prepare myself, get ready. This leads on to the visa process. At the end of November 2022, I was told that my visa process was only just starting, which meant that we were now looking at getting me to Japan for February of 2023. I made a video about it at the time just as an update. Not quite sure what happened, but anyway, it was fine. I just had more time to prepare and I got to spend Christmas at home with my family. So anyway, the visa process was then officially starting in December. So here is the useful bit of the video. My company then sent me the application for the certificate of eligibility. Now this document is the most important part of applying for a work visa. It's basically the proof that your company wants you to come to Japan to work for them. Without this, there's no proof that you are needed in Japan to work. I kind of viewed it as like a sponsorship form, that the Japanese government have proof that you actually have a purpose to come to Japan. So I completed this application out on my laptop and sent it back to my company, and then they applied for my certificate of eligibility. For this certificate of eligibility application, they needed a recent passport photo taken in the last 6 months. They needed a scan of my passport and also a scan of my degree certificate. Unfortunately, if you don't have a university degree, you will find it very hard to come to Japan on a work visa. It's a requirement for the visa to have a university degree, unfortunately. I sent that across, they applied for the certificate of eligibility, and then late December of 2022, my certificate of eligibility has been successful. So then my head office waiting to receive the document took the most time of the visa process. So I just had to wait at this point, just trying to keep making myself as prepared as possible, sorting out my omiyage, that sort of thing. So at this point, remember, I am looking at arriving for February. Mid-January, my head office receives the certificate of eligibility. So as soon as I find out that my head office have sent my certificate of eligibility, I book an appointment at my embassy, which was the closest one to me was London. So up until this point, I couldn't have booked an appointment because I didn't know when I was going to be receiving the document. And it's important to say at this stage that it was complete luck that I was able to get an appointment at the embassy so quickly. I booked the first available appointment for 2 weeks later on the 31st of January, which meant that I wouldn't have made it to Japan in time for February, and I would be waiting till March to start my training. I just so happened to find a cancellation for 2 days after I would be receiving the certificate of eligibility. So I was really, really lucky to get an appointment in time. 2 days later, I received the certificate of eligibility in the post. So I'm waiting for my certificate of eligibility to arrive today. A couple of days ago, I got an email from my supervisor to say that they had received the certificate of eligibility document at their office, and she posted it out the same day. Yesterday I applied for my international driver's permit, because although I probably won't be driving a car in Japan, I think it's useful to have just in case, because you can only apply for it in your home country, I think. I will update you when I get my certificate of eligibility. Okay, peace, bye. It's here. Wow. This is the last document I needed before going to the embassy on Friday. How crazy. It left Japan 2 days ago, and since then it's been to China, Germany, and it's arrived in the UK in my small little town 2 days later. That's pretty incredible. But yeah, cool. I guess the next thing will be going to the embassy on Friday. You might not be able to hear me. But I'm on my way to the embassy. Kind of nervous, but I think I've spent so long being nervous over it that my body's just kind of got used to it now and it's normal, so I feel fine now. So I'm here really early, so I think I'm going to just chill in Green Park, which is right next to it. The flag's just there. I'm sat right in front of the embassy, waiting to have my appointment. I'm sat in Green Park and I'm feeling a little bit nervous, but just got to get on with it. There's a lot riding on today. But yeah, how cool is that I'm sat right in front of it? I've got about 20 minutes to wait before I can go in, but I'm glad I'm here early because I hate being late. Oh, the sun's come out. So the embassy website is a little bit confusing. I just kept finding out different bits of information on different bits of the website. The documents I'm going in with are my passport, my 2x2 inch visa photograph, my visa application and my certificate of eligibility with a photocopy of that. I've also got photocopies of every other document as well, just in case. So I'll let you know how it goes. I'm really hoping I've got everything, but it's too late now if I don't, so we'll see. It's such a beautiful day though. It's calming me down to sit in the park. Guys, that was literally not as scary as I thought it was gonna be. Everyone was really lovely in there, first of all, and second, it literally took 2 seconds. I just gave my documents, they checked it a little bit and then made me an appointment to come back next Friday and collect it. I did have to wait probably about 15 minutes, but you take a ticket at the machine and then when your number gets called you go and see the people, and she said it was all looks okay. They did take my passport, but that's fine. I was expecting that, so if you're not expecting that, that might be a bit of a shock, so take a photocopy if you don't already have one, in case you need it to book your flight or something. But yeah, it's all done now and I can now book my flight and go back to get it next week, so fun times. So what I didn't say in that clip was I also needed a printout of my appointment application to actually enter the building. They accepted a printout or a screenshot of the confirmation page, but it doesn't get emailed to you. So you need to make sure that you print that page out or take a screenshot. If you don't do that, then you might lose it and you won't be allowed into the embassy. That's an important note. About this appointment at the embassy, I was very, very nervous, but there was no need at all to be nervous. I thought that they were going to ask me loads of questions and it was going to be a super long process. It ended up being, okay, hand over the documents and then making an appointment to come back the next week, which this is where I wish I would have seen a video like this, because I was stressing out so much about this appointment because of how much pressure there was on the short time scale. Another small detail as well is that I was really nervous about wearing my glasses for some reason to my appointment, because in my photographs I wasn't wearing glasses. I had a headache, so I needed to wear my glasses. They didn't even say anything about my glasses, and I was worried about them saying, oh, you're not this person because you're wearing glasses. There was also very mixed information on the price of the visa. It was either £20 or 3,000 yen, and I couldn't find out, so I had to bring both. It was £20 on collection of the visa, and also by this point my schedule was really, really tight, so if I couldn't make an appointment for the following week to collect my visa, then I would have missed my February training group. So I was really lucky that they were able to offer me an appointment to collect my visa the following Friday, the day before I was due to fly. After the appointment, I was able to book my flights and start packing. And at this stage I was saying goodbye to people, you know, meeting up with friends for the last time, getting really nervous and really excited. It was a really weird time because I'd been waiting for so long and it was finally happening. It didn't feel real at all. The time came to go and collect the visa, and this is when you need the £20 cash. They don't accept card, only cash, so make sure you have that cash available. So I'm in Green Park again a week later, and I am about to go and collect my visa. All the hard work is done now. All of the documents, all of the forms. The flag is right behind that tree trunk. All I need is £20 to pay for the visa and the receipt that I have to show to confirm that I've got a booking to collect it. And I get my visa and my passport back. And then I fly to Japan tomorrow. I've just got to enjoy it now. Okay, the next thing I'll talk about is the flights/COVID documents. The day after I collected my visa was my flight. I wrote that I would be flying with Emirates on my visa application. I couldn't get a flight with Emirates, so I had to fly with BA, British Airways. But that wasn't a problem either. So don't worry if you write a specific airline on your visa application and have to pick another one. It's fine. So I managed to book myself a direct flight from London Heathrow to Haneda in Tokyo, and it was about 13 hours, and I managed to get a window seat. It was a great time. So I landed specifically in Haneda airport, and I was a bit overwhelmed with the systems in the airport, so I thought this might also be helpful to people that get overwhelmed easily like I do. The systems were not totally intuitive, so I thought I would just talk a tiny little bit about that as well. So the COVID documents may be different depending on when you watch this video. Just double check the updated information. British Airways actually provided me with all of the information on what documents I would need. So I'm pretty sure that it's already changed since I got here 2 weeks ago. But for me, to enter Japan, I needed to register on Visit Japan web, and on there are 2 forms to fill out for COVID vaccination status, which is the quarantine form, and then there's also a customs form as well. And both of these forms generate a QR code, and once they've been accepted, then your home screen turns blue, and this is what they look for when you come off the plane. Basically, they look for the home screen being blue. Okay, and then you go round to immigration. They're very helpful with telling you where to go. I went to immigration, and for this I needed all of the normal documents like passport. I had all of the other documents as well just in case, but they only needed my passport and my immigration QR code. So after immigration, you go through and you collect your bags. At this point I was super confused. So I collected my bags, but I also needed to get my SIM card, which I thought was before customs. It's not, it's after customs. Collected my bags, and then the next thing you need to do is go to the machines for the customs QR code. So look out for the machines, there should be people lining up, and this is where you go to the machine. You can select English if you don't speak Japanese, and you scan your customs QR code and your passport page at the same time. Once you've done this, then you can go through the customs gates. What I tried to do was go straight through the gates without scanning the code. I guess it is intuitive once you know about it. Yeah, I got really confused and overwhelmed. After you go through the customs gates, you can then pick up a SIM card. I ordered mine to pick up at Haneda Airport. Once I'd booked my flights, then I bought my SIM card and ordered it to be picked up at Haneda Airport. If you have access to the internet, you can translate things, you can use maps to get to where you need to go, you can Google things. So I really strongly recommend ordering a SIM card to pick up at the airport. I'm so sorry, this video is so long. Okay, so that leads to pretty much now. When you arrive in Japan, you are required to register your address within 14 days, which my company helped me with, so I was lucky with this. So I don't have much information on how to tackle that if you're not a Japanese speaker. My company were also able to help me get a PASMO card, which I also recommend getting straight away when you get to Japan. It's basically a IC card that you load up with money, which makes tapping in and out of train stations so easy. Otherwise you have to go to the ticket machine and buy a specific ticket. Just get a IC card, PASMO or Suica. That is definitely something that will be very, very helpful to you and just take the stress out of traveling. And then when it comes to topping your card up, the machines are very intuitive to use and they have English options as well. At the time of filming this, that was about 2 weeks ago now since I got here. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful. I'm really sorry if it was boring. I promise the rest of my videos are fun. Okay. Sorry if some of the COVID information is outdated, just double check. Yeah, so I just wanted to lay out my experience in case you also had questions like I did. They're just little bits of information sometimes that can really make you feel a lot more comfortable. If you have a question about my visa process, then please let me know in the comments. The main purpose of this video is to help people, so I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. If you want to see what I get up to in Japan, please subscribe and join me on this journey. I would love to have you along because I'm already having so much fun so far. I am planning on doing so much exploring on my weekends and bank holidays. And yeah, thank you for watching. Have a great day wherever you are in the world, and remember to just be kind to people. Bye.